All right, guys, welcome to Orlando. If you have been watching my YouTube for any length of time, you know this gym pretty well. This is like our 10th time here in the last 2 years.
Yeah, 15th.
So she's done the Olympia here twice.
Yeah.
This is Lawna's first pro show in Florida.
Yeah.
Woo! And this is Coach Steven, who's got some badass girls doing this show. So.
Right, and badass mustache. Hey.
Not
You
bad.
zoom in on this?
Oh, look, Miriam's here too. So we're actually here for the Klash Championship Series. This is kicking off the NPC season here in Florida, so I'm excited to see how everyone does tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Joe puts on a great show.
We got a great pro show, a great amateur show. Sandy is the head judge, so we'll bring you guys along for the ride. Today we just did our little light pump. I got a little posing session in. Daraja made it here. Show off your no tattoo.
Oh yeah, there's two.
Oh yeah, so if you're familiar with Harry Potter, you know what that means.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, the real ones know. That's awesome. Hashtag Ravenclaw.
Real ones.
Muggles are not allowed.
You're Hufflepuff.
I don't know what any of
I don't know what that means.
That was actually really disrespectful, but okay.
Slytherin?
That's worse. It's worse. But it's fine.
Spit everywhere. All right, so we'll bring you guys along for the ride. We got check-ins at 5, pro check-ins at 7.
Yes.
I think there's some, I saw Urishna here. We got
Yep.
Janet and Lauralee are coming. So who knows who else is going to be here.
It's going to be a star-studded event, y'all.
It's going to be like a real thing. So
It's a thing.
come along.
Let's go.
All right, guys, so we're in Orlando once again for the Klash Championship Series. There's Hannah Vernoski, who came all the way from Texas, and she was looking fantastic. So super excited about getting her on stage. This was actually our first show together, even though we've been working together for over a year. So as always, what I like to do the day before the show, guys, is a light workout. I mean, maybe 2-3 sets per body part, nothing near failure. Now, of course, because I'm filming her, she was going to train harder. But this allows me to just get a sense of how everyone's looking, because food is going up, the body is getting harder and tighter, and I want to make sure that they're not flat. For the Bikini Division, you have to be very full. So this is Lawna Dunbar. This is her second pro show. And this is Savana Findley, who is actually, this is her first show ever. So she's a local to me. So I was excited about seeing her on stage because we had just done the posing seminar, and she had got a lot of attention at that. So we knew she was going to have a good day. So it's just good to get in the gym and get to see everybody and talk and train. And like I said, it just gives me an opportunity to discuss what we should be eating. This is Laura Petrolino. She was my only Masters competitor at the show. So I only had 4 total competitors, 1 pro, 3 amateurs. The Klash is a very good Florida show. It is the first, other than the Arnold, I guess they had the Boston Pro again this year as well, but other than the Arnold, this was the first big pro bikini show of the year. So, you know, a good turnout overall. So watching Laura train, making her laugh, getting some food in, and just watching everybody lift. Now, I do like to train the glutes a little bit the day before the show. The reason being is that the glute muscles don't need to be flexed on stage. So if there's a little bit of inflammation there, it's not a problem. A little bit of inflammation, a little bit of swelling, especially with the fact that we're going up with food and carbs and sodium, really helps us fill out. Coach Steven was also on this trip with a couple of his clients. So he had some very good ones. This is Christina Jakymiw, who has probably one of the best bikini upper bodies you will ever see. She's very jacked. And then he also had a first-time competitor just like me. So I had Savannah, a first-time competitor, and he had Michelle Frank, a first-time competitor. And we dubbed her Frank the Tank after this. So overall, just very thrilled with how everyone was looking the day before the show. You know, that's one thing as a coach. A lot of our interactions are based online, and we don't necessarily get to see them in person. And after we were done training, we went back to the hotel, and then we had check-ins. The NPC check-ins were first at 6, and this is Lawna Dunbar at the pro check-ins. There's Sandy Williamson, who was the head judge, and you know, she's the head judge for the national shows for the Olympia. So it's always good when you get a judge of that caliber at your show in your town. So this is why we brought some of our competitors along. And there's David Herkovitz with the blue shirt, another Florida pro judge. There's her number, 453. And what they're doing here, the pro check-ins, they actually just go through the process of getting their picture taken, and all that stuff gets uploaded to the NPC News Online site. You know, it does make the pros feel a little bit special. They have a separate check-in just for them. They get their stuff, their numbers. Here's Dan Ray taking their picture. And there's Jessica Dolius, who is another Florida girl. She's in New Jersey. I always think she's from Florida because I see her so often, but she had to remind me of this show that she's actually New Jersey. And then they get all the girls together on stage for the group photo. And, you know, these are great moments, guys. You get all these competitors together. Earning professional status is by itself quite an accomplishment. So getting all the stage together to talk, you find out there's some big personalities up there. If you see, there's Lawna in the middle, Lucia right next to her. And now let's get to show day. What's up, guys? It's show day. Finally, the competition season is underway. So this is the Klash Championship Series put on by Joe Pishkula here in Orlando, Florida. Now, this show has a really cool history because a lot of the girls that have won the Pro Bikini portion here have gone on to win the Olympia, girls like Isa Piccini. So what we're looking for today is just getting the season started. We have an amazing judging panel headed up by Sandy Williamson. That's right, the Olympia head judges here. So we've got Pro Bikini, we've got Amateur Bikini. That's all we have, but the show has a full array of athletes, so I'm gonna have my man Evan, who's behind the lens here, kind of just show off how great this show is, so you guys are looking for shows to do in the future. You come here to Orlando, but we're gonna talk to the athletes today, we're gonna get some footage of them on stage, and I don't have to do it, I don't have to be anxious, because I got Evan here to film for me, so we're gonna have some great content. We'll talk about it after prejudging, we'll talk about it before finals, we'll talk about it after finals, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Talk to you soon. So here we go with prejudging, and in this show, we had a couple competitors in the division called True Novice. Now, True Novice, they added a few years ago. True Novice means they've never competed in a show before in the NPC. So you can only do True Novice once. The Novice division, which is also for kind of beginners, means you've never won your class before. So at a show like this, which is Savana, if you see her left of center, in True Novice, you actually can do True Novice, Novice, and Open in the same show. So it's actually kind of nice because as a beginner, you get the opportunity to do multiple classes. And it just allows you more stage time because essentially you're dieting and preparing for sometimes just one class. Well, for a true beginner, it allows you to go backstage, collect your thoughts, and then make corrections. And I'll talk about it through this video, but we made a lot of corrections with Savana throughout the day, being it was her first time show. You know, there were things I noticed when she was on stage, things I noticed that we can improve on. And so what I try to do is run back and forth, right? So with Savana, I noticed some issues with her color, with her suit that we were able to correct. And then I was able to also watch, I had Hannah in the novice class. So Savana was in True Novice A, and then Hannah was in the novice class of the tire. I think it was class D, it was a taller one. So we're going to jump around here a little bit just because Evan was filming and he was just capturing things as he could. This is Lawna Dunbar. Now we're into Pro Bikini. I mean, you can see the difference just from the girls that were just on stage. More development, muscular top to bottom, more polish in the posing. There's really just no flaws. I mean, this is the definition of Pro Bikini. Lawna turned pro last year in November and immediately placed top 5 at her first pro show, which is no small feat. And this is Lawna's signature pose. And this is something I really appreciate because you don't come up with signature poses unless you're actually putting a lot of time and effort into your posing. And that's something that the pros do. They really take this seriously. This is a serious passion for them. And the other cool thing is, like, we just did this show and Lawna's competing again this weekend in her hometown. So I'm very excited for that. And then the bikini prejudging, this was the end of first call-outs. What they did was they took off 4 and they brought out a few new names, and Lawna was in that group. So she was the first person they brought out. So we knew immediately she was in the 6 or 7 position, which at your pro debut with over 20 girls competing, not too shabby. Actually, this wasn't her pro debut. This was her second pro show, as I said. So, but it's always nice to get in there and get noticed right away. My thoughts were, okay, let's focus on seeing if we can't take a step forward and move up, because now she's being compared to 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? So this is like the top 10. So I wanted to see if we could get her moved in, and I believe they move her in pretty quickly. But I mean, just look at the caliber of these physiques. As a coach, the higher the level goes up, and by higher the level, I mean, you've got, your true novices, then you've got your national level competitors, then you've got your pro level competitors, then you've got your Olympians. Well, everybody on this stage here is a pro, but to my knowledge, nobody has been to the Olympia. So this is a good sign. Okay, let's move Lawna in closer to that top 5, 6 position, because again, they took off the top 4. So right away, but as a coach, I was watching this right away and thinking, okay, there's some things we can address. Now, if you're looking from the back, conditioning is spot on with Lawna, but her color is very light, okay? She's a little bit tighter than some of the other girls, but her color is not as good as some of the other girls. Now, in bikini, there is such a thing as being too conditioned. You do not want to have hard lines in your hamstrings, hard lines in your glutes. You're looking for the shape to be there, the fullness to be there, but not so much so that it looks rather hard. So, it's a fine line to walk, and that's why it's very important to be at these shows, to see what they're rewarding, to stay after, get feedback from the judges. But, Lawna's just, as a coach, you just take great pride in coaching competitors that are this dedicated, this talented. I mean, she's stunning just from head to toe. So this was fun. Now we get to do it again this weekend, and she's actually going to do the Wasatch the weekend after. So we're going to do 3 or 4 shows in a short amount of time, see if we can get points or qualified for the Olympia, and then take some time off and come back better. I mean, this is what Pro Bikini is all about. We have until November of this year to qualify for the Olympia. November 20th is the cutoff date, because the December is the end of the that's when the Olympia is. So this is the awards for finals. So yeah, what we're looking for here is, whenever you have a client in a class, and Savana was in the true novice and open, and then Hannah was in novice and open, and Laura was in the masters and open. You just don't want to hear your client's name till the last name called. So it's always exciting. And then the young lady that just came out in second, this is the novice class. I thought she was actually going to be in contention for winning that class. So when Savana beat her, it actually got me thinking, okay, she's going to have a shot at the overall, because they're not even in the same height class for the open. And I knew Hannah had won her open class. And so here we got Hannah Vernoski, who's someone I'm very excited about. This was our first time getting on stage together. Core is fantastic. And she actually won her novice class as well. So you get a cool moment here. You get a moment where both of your clients are going to get to pose down for an overall title. And as a coach, my job is just to put them in the best position to succeed and let the judges sort it out. So you'll get to see a little bit of what it takes to win an overall. Now, at this point, since we're already on to the novice awards, Savana had already won the overall for true novice, which is all the first timers. So now we get to watch the overall for novice. So here you have all 4 classes. A, B, C, and D. So Hannah won Class C. And when they announced the overall winner, and there's Elena Perez. If you guys watch my videos on the left of the screen there, she actually won an overall and got, I believe, 7th at nationals in Miami. So she's in her building phase and trying to build muscle to come back and turn pro. And there you have Savana being crowned the novice bikini overall champion. So what we're looking for again is the open class win. And I think it said Class B, but I think this was actually Class C. In fact, I'm quite sure of it. So now the interesting thing was, we didn't get it, but Christina Jakymiw, who you saw in the morning, who is in this video, third from the left, is Steven's client. So this is the overall award for the open bikini class. So what we're looking for here is just to see what the judges are looking at. And they moved Savana to the middle right away. So you have a first-time competitor being moved to the middle of an overall of this show. I was already happy, you know, because the top 4 in this get free paid entry to nationals, and you have to be top 2 to qualify for nationals. So all these girls are nationally qualified. The top 4 are actually going to be paid to go to nationals. Their entries are paid, which is, you know, I think it's $350. It's not insignificant. So, you know, I wasn't sure which way it was going to go. The girl that was in the middle with Savana looked fantastic. So here they are announcing the top 4. So Steven's client, Christina Jakymiw, just got free entry to nationals, and hey, a kiss from Janet Leduc. That's not nothing. So what they do is they actually count down from 4th to 1st. And all these girls get paid entries. So, and actually just to show you how good Savana was, this is the girl that Savana actually beat in the novice class, won her open class, and got entry into nationals. Great overall balance, great color. She was actually the one that I actually focused on after prejudging and said, hey, we need to get your color up. So if you look at Savana, Savannah's color is better. I actually had Hotspot respray her with a new coat. I also had CJ, who was there, fix her suit. Now, CJ did not make her suit, but CJ is amazing. She was backstage, and she actually took Savannah's suit and stitched it right there in front of her. She had her take it off and stitch it. It was amazing. So the suit was fitting better. We had fed her, so she was a little bit fuller, and her color was better. So at night, for the overall, you're judged live. They're not thinking, what did you look like this morning? They're literally watching you live, so you can come back better. And we were able to eat more food. We were able to come back and be in a position to win an overall. And there you go. 2 years in a row now, I've been fortunate enough to win this show. Last year with Kathy Seitz. And if you remember last year, Kathy Seitz, well, she went on to turn pro by winning the overall at NPC Universe. So, you know, this is a good indicator that Savana is going to be competitive at the national show that we choose to do, which we've already discussed. And this is Pro Bikini Finals. So this was 7 through, they actually bringing out, that's Rachel Berry in the blue that just got moved in. She ends up in the 5th position. So, you know, this was an indicator to me, based on where these girls are standing, that Lawna had moved up into the 5 or 6 position. Because you see the young lady to the right in the blue suit, she actually ends up in 6th. So this was a little odd for us, but what happened was it was a 1-point decision. One judge had the girl in the blue suit in 6th, and another judge had Lawna in 6th. So it ended up just being a 1-point decision, going the other girl's way, which, you know what, that's the lumps. The difference is at this show, 6th place got paid. And 6th place got a photo shoot. So it was kind of a bummer. But the thing about losing is you're all going to lose in sports. You're all going to lose in this sport. It's how you respond to it. It either makes a good athlete better, or it makes a good athlete quit. And I can promise you, Lawna and I got right back to work. We've already made a bunch of changes. So it was just a pleasure to see this on stage. All right, guys, well, we're all wrapped up here at the Klash, and man, I gotta say, it's always very rewarding when your athletes, every single one of them, gets on stage looking the way you envisioned it. But beyond that, you don't really have a lot of control over how shows go, right? That comes down to who shows up, what the judges' criteria is gonna be that day. But lo and behold, we had some great results. You know, not only Laura, not only Hannah, but Savana's first show ever. She won True Novice overall, Novice overall, and Open overall. She actually earned a free entry into a national show of her choice this year, so we're considering what we're going to do next. Her family was here to see it, so I'm so excited for Savana. Obviously, I think that sets her up for a very bright future. You know, you win an overall at a show of this caliber, especially at your first ever show, and you guys can see in the video, she's got amazing shape, a lot of lower body muscle density. We need to bring her shoulders a little bit, shape. Her posing was amazing. She put in hours and hours of work to that. So super proud of Savana, excited to see what we do next. And of course, Lawna Dunbar, who was 7th today at the Pro Show. Now, it's a little heartbreaking because top 6 got paid, top 6 got awards, but we were right there. And what I usually find out about competitors is that when you're close and you're a little bit frustrated, you find out what you're made of. And we got a show in 6 days for Lawna, next Saturday in Golden State. So super proud of everyone this weekend. I want to thank my man Evan for all this footage he's going to put together and edit to put on the channel. Also want to thank Joe Pashkula for running an amazing show, the NPC IFBB. It's just an amazing weekend. And now we get to go eat. Maybe we'll get a little bit of that. All right, guys, later.